Hi everyone, I know it has been a while, so I am just gonna dive right in. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about tension. Everybody has quite a few questions about tension. My preference of tension is always at the 3, a little bit past the 3 is where my sweet spot is. As you know, tensions, they get tighter the higher you go up. So when I say tighter, I'm going to show you the photos at the end of this video of all the tensions from basically 1 through 9. I do little stitches with the letter I on this piece of fabric, and I'm basically going to show you each level and why it's so important to monitor your tension, to pay attention to how it stitches, because you will adjust it as you go. Sometimes I have to adjust my tension mid-project for certain letters. Like when I'm doing more of a cursive letter, sometimes it gets a little tight in certain areas and I have to loosen up the tension a little bit to make that curve more accurate. Even though these are digital pieces, sometimes it still requires a little bit of that manual work, if you will. So paying attention to the tension. Right now I'm at 0. It's stitching as it should. Remember when I say it's more of a loose stitch, it's not tight. When you go from level 0 till about, I want to say close to about 3, 4, maybe pushing 5, they all kind of look similar. But definitely 1 through 3, hands down, they're pretty similar. But when I say you get to that 3, 4, 5, it's definitely tighter. You'll see more of that under bobbin thread start to appear on the edges a little bit, depending on what you're stitching. This is just a basic back forth stitch, nothing major, but I did speed it up so that we can kind of get to where we need to get in this video, like the meat and potatoes, if you will. But the tighter it gets, the more of that under bobbin that you start to see. I use white thread for my under bobbin. Sometimes it's black. Sometimes it all depends on what I'm creating. Sometimes I do double of the same color, and I don't have to really worry about that depending on what it is I'm actually stitching. Yes, you can use the same thread that you have at the top, at the bottom. Just an FYI. But anyway, back to this. When we get to this bottom row, I don't even have to zoom in for you guys to start to see how that under bobbin starts to take over the color. You'll start to see your thread kind of, well, I don't want to spoil it, but you'll just pay attention of how that last 7, 8, 9 really looks and what happens. And I'm going to play the audio here so that you can really hear how it starts to go really funky. I got scared. I thought my machine was going to break, but here's this video so that you can actually hear how horrible it sounds when it's too tight. I ended up breaking a needle midway and had to do it all over. But here it is. Check out the audio. Okay, so now that that horrible sound is over and I'm finished sweating, my machine was literally pumping hard, and you could hear it. It started to squeak and things that I have never heard this machine do. And I started to see at the bottom with 7 and 8. That really took me out. Here you can see how I said your thread kind of nestles together underneath, and that's top thread. So that definitely lets you know the tension was way too high. As you kind of go, like I told you in the beginning, 1, 2, and 3 are kind of similar. When I have 2 2s, because I did it twice and forgot to change them. Same with 7. But 7, on that 7, because it was kind of in the middle of 6 and 7. So that one at the very end where it says 7, that first one was actually a part of 6 and 7. But overall, as you can see how important your tension is, pay attention. Even when I'm in the middle of a design, I may have to adjust my tension to make certain curved letters just to make sure I don't see that under bobbin. But also pay attention to your needles, making sure your needles are fresh, because sometimes dull needles, when you're trying to get that tension up a little bit, it'll break every time. So hope it helps. As always, be sure to leave a comment, your like, subscribe, and I'll be sure to reach out to you guys. Yes, my response has been a little delayed because I'm enjoying a little bit of R&R, but I'm back. So talk to you guys soon.